What's going on, everybody? This is Rossar, and you're listening to The Misfit Effect. And of course, I'm joined with my beautiful, wonderful, spectacular. I didn't give her all these accolades from the last podcast, and I think she was kind of mad. But my juiciness co-host, the lovely Sarah Lace.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys. Can I grab my vape?
Yes, go ahead.
Go
Go
for it.
ahead, grab your vape. I'm gonna leave that in there too.
I'm so sorry. I'm like
No,
looking around.
no, I'm gonna leave that in there too. Go ahead. We still gotta do our introductions, you know. So
And here
go.
I was. Here I was about to introduce her, about to show off the shirt and everything.
Yes.
Should I do
Anyone
it for a second, or shall I just go ahead with this
No,
introduction?
I'm gonna leave that in there. I'm gonna straight up leave
Right?
that in there because that shows her personality. We
Yeah,
love
it does.
we love Hazel. But go ahead.
So, guys, today I want to introduce you to a longtime friend, and she is actually the founder and owner of In Melanin. So, say hello, everyone, to Miss Gorgeous Hazel Grace.
Hello, everyone.
That's right.
So
So go
hey,
ahead, introduce yourself, tell them who you are, what it is that you do, and how long you've been doing it for.
I am that that once in a lifetime girl that you meet from the South that's just like, I would marry her. Um, I would describe the Hazel Grace brand as just like everyone's wife, honestly. I treat all my fans like they are my husband, and I love them each and like in their own very special way. But yeah, I've been doing porn for almost 7 years, mainstream porn. I've been a cam star for 8 years with Cam Soda. Um, and I started Melanin back in 2019, but we launched this year in 2024. And so in Melanin for me is it's a community that I've created for women of color in the adult entertainment industry. We have events and we have our own website and stuff like that, but mostly, we started in 2019. It took us till 2024 to actually get the website up, but in that time frame, we were building relationships and just trying to get our voice out there to the talent because that's what mattered to us from the beginning, and that is what's most important to us because without the porn stars we wouldn't have the porn,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not something that anyone and everyone can do, especially when it comes to women. And so my company focuses specifically on women of color, because while men can also do porn, they don't necessarily get the same pushback that women do, especially women of color, putting your body on the online and etc. We have a lot of fans, but just as many haters, I think, and honestly, as far as that goes. And so yeah, I really wanted to create a backbone of security for women of color. And from there, now we've got our own porn website. And from there, I really want to take it to having maybe our own gentlemen's club. But yeah.
you
Okay,
know,
that'd be spicy. I would love that.
one thing I do hate about industry in general when it comes to everything else, it's kind of like I hate the pushback they have against POCs, and like they don't want you to be yourself per se. You know what I mean? And it's always bothered me. And I know certain people that are POCs in the industry have always tried to make their voice heard and like say, look, I'm here. I want to be seen. Don't disavow me or try to make me look lesser than because I'm a POC.
Mhm.
And it's I don't know. It's just always been an issue with me because I see like all the BS that you deal with, because like even a few days ago, someone started harassing you in your messages, and then I just started sending them and say, "Oh, you must want a cookie," and I just started sending. Like I don't know, you noticed it before you deleted your Twitter. I just started sending them random places where they can buy cookies because they kept
That's
they
hilarious.
yeah, they were annoying you. So I'm like, okay, oh, you want an Archway cookie? And then I went down, and then they kept saying, stop trying to be white. And I'm like, okay, so you must want Then I found a black owned cookie company and I started sending them a whole bunch of black owned. So you must want this one.
A
Oh
black
my gosh.
company. I love it. I love it.
And so it would just bother me because like they're like harassing you all for. No
Yeah,
reason. I'm sorry.
people, a lot of my friends have noticed those specific accounts on Twitter, and they're like, "Are you okay? Like, you shouldn't respond. You don't have to respond." But for me, if you're gonna tag my company in something directly, I'm going to respond to that. No matter, I don't care how I come off because personally, it's my brand, it's my company.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk trash about my company and what we stand for without actually knowing what we stand for, I'm going to defend it.
Mhm.
Because Sarah here knows not a lot of people in my life know the constant work that I'm doing for this brand. Like, I have let Hazel Grace kind of fall to the wayside, and I've lost money and opportunities as far as Hazel Grace goes to keep In Melanin going and to keep In Melanin afloat. Because in the long run, I want In Melanin, I want people 30, 100 years from now to remember In Melanin, not me. I want them to remember the collection of beautiful Black women that In Melanin brought and kept in this industry and kept them fed, because what a lot of people don't pay attention to or don't really care about is it takes money for us to be in this industry. And so if they're not getting booked and they don't have work, then why would they stay? And so
Yeah.
that's why as time has gone on, you have less and less Black stars that are even joining this industry.
Mhm.
And so for me, the focus is always going to be women of color, because without them, you got no Black men for them to even fuck. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So yeah, I find it very important for me personally to come back, snap back at those responses, being tied in with other companies that are Black owned that don't do what I do, or just other mainstream companies that don't do what I do. If you're going to come for any company and tell them that they should be doing something, go for the company with a $20 million budget, not the girl that's paying for everything out of pocket on a very slim budget,
Yeah.
and just making it work. If you're going to attack anyone and say, this is what you should be shooting, you should be telling that to them. And if you're going to talk to me about what I should be shooting, you should be a subscriber. You should be sending me that message through In Melanin as a paid subscriber. And if not, then honestly, you should just mind your business. Or if you want me to shoot something specific, you send me the funds for that, because it takes anywhere from $5,000 to $7,000 to shoot just one 30-minute boy girl scene. And so for me, I think I'm obviously doing my best to keep everyone happy. And
Mhm.
the number one complaint is In Melanin is an interracial website. It's an interracial website. And my comeback to that is always like, well, it's both. Yeah, it is an interracial website, but it's also Black on Black. And I am catering to fans that like women of color, not men of color, women of color, and like women of color. And whether she's fucking a white guy or whether she's fucking an Asian guy or a Latino guy or a Black guy, when you go to a Melanin, you will always see a woman of color. And so that's what I was trying to get him to understand, but he kept coming back online with, "Oh, well, you're only fucking white guys. I'm gonna fuck who will come and fuck me for the cheapest, because ultimately I have a product to create and to
Yeah.
Mhm.
get out. And if they're quoting me this much and they're quoting me this much, I'm gonna go with the one that's more affordable for me, and the one that's gonna be more fun." And so ultimately, I do have a lot of more interracial content, and I am not ashamed of that or upset about that at all. My husband is Caucasian. I am quite proud of that. And I feel very strongly about what they call reverse racism, which is not really a thing, but just racism in general. To me, it matters. It doesn't matter if you're Black, white, or brown, you can still be racist. And I find it quite racist that they're attacking me for who I choose to work with, not knowing exactly what goes on in the background. But
What do
I
you
hope that gives a good explanation, kind of, because there is a lot of like, there's like three specific accounts on Twitter that I feel actually have a following of Black men, and they're portraying my company as this thing that it's not.
Mhm.
We have lots of Black on Black scenes. As a matter of fact, in the last like 3 months, we've shot 4 new ones. But yeah, my focus is always women of color.
There's one huge thing that I do love about your company
Mhm.
compared to a lot of the other ones that have like minorities. And I'm gonna say minorities instead of saying people like minorities on their website, is that, and no pun intended with your last name, but your people you shoot and the way the scenes you do has more grace to it than theirs. It's not like, oh, I'm shooting this black B word or this black convent or this, like derogatory black person, you know,
Mhm.
and yours is kind of like, oh, there's this. And I don't want to say what I know about what you just shot like last week, like, well, in our time last week. I know it was more classy than anything else. And
Mhm.
people don't want to portray POCs as being classy. It's always some like it is sometimes, but like the majority of the time, it has some negative connotation to it, and it's
Mhm.
ridiculous that it's like if your website, if more than 85% of the stuff you post when it comes to people that are POC has some type of negative connotation to it, then it's an issue. I understand like everybody's just here to see people have sex and all, but there's more to it than anything else because representation is everything.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I love what you do. I'm like saying, at the end of the day, she is headlining women of color. That's the whole damn thing. It's not saying,
Mhm.
oh, we're only going to do a black website. Yes, it's they were great. They're great to have, whatever. But like, there's more to it, and she has to employ who wants to work.
Mhm.
Yeah, and financially speaking, a lot of fans of Black women and women of color are white. And so
Yeah,
I'm not just specifically going to cater to one type of person. I want the entire umbrella of men that like chocolate women. If you like chocolate women and you're Arab or you're white or you're Asian or I want you to come to In Melanin and feel like you belong there. All of our scenes are just Black women being Black women. There's no one going to jail. There's no one stealing. There's none of that weird shit.
Mhm.
I'm basically recreating all the porn that I couldn't find when I was in my 19, 20-year-old and I'm looking up porn that I want. I'm like, why does it always have to be, like you said, always has to be something derogatory? I just want some innocent, cute little girl like me to get fucked normal instead of railed by this big dick. Like, I just want something normal and real. And then it seems as though when you do get that from companies, you get 1% of that and 99% of everything else. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, at Melanin, it's all very normal scenarios. Over the years, I'm really hoping to collect a Pornhub style of or a Pornhub set of things where like there's categories. You can choose what you want to see
Mhm.
a POC doing, whether that's stepmom, stepdad, or whatever that is, or just normal couples. I'm creating an entire series that's called Real Love. And I find two Black performers that are actually dating at the time and I film them together.
Mhm.
Our first one was September Rain and Big Trey. In the middle of their like long relationship, they shot for In Melanin. I'm going to be shooting Destiny Mirror and Anton because they're in the height of their relationship. And so highlighting stuff like that. We have a scene coming out with Eddie J and Cali Caliente, and the setup is just her treating her man for because he works so hard. And
Mhm.
so yeah, I like very simple setups and scenarios. So but if I could touch on the project that we just filmed in LA, I
please,
can't really give
please.
a lot of details, but the one thing that I've been super happy about is like going through the content. Our cast was an entire POC cast. Out of 11 people, we had let me pull out my picture because I will forget. I have this like amazing picture. I'll send it to you guys personally. Um, but on our cast, we had two Black guys, Asian guy, Arab guy, and a Latino guy. And
Okay.
then we had two Black girls, mixed girl, Afro Latino girl, and also an Arab girl. So
Okay.
like we only had one white actor on the entire set. It was Ray Ray. Everyone knows Ray Ray from
Yeah.
Ray of Sunshine.
Yeah.
So she was our only white actor. The rest, the entire 10 people were all POC in some way,
Mhm.
which just made I'm like it just made me so happy. It made my heart like swell.
It's
Yeah.
all the diversity.
I
If you
seen.
think about it, it's like traveling the world in one video.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, well, I
Mhm.
seen what I seen of it from what was on Instagram, and I'm like, okay, okay, because I know I seen the post about you're looking for people for last minute changes, and I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, I was paying attention to it. I'm like, oh, that's gonna be good, and
Mm-hmm.
like I know the time and effort you were putting into it just from art me your quick conversation about like when you were running around that day before that Thursday.
Oh
So
yeah, I
yeah,
almost died.
I know, and I was concerned. I was scared because like I was
Everyone was so concerned for me, and I was just like, I gotta get this project done, whether I die or not.
like you were literally like right next to my home, and I was with another porn performer. Like we were sitting here looking through sex toys, and like I said, come through, sit down, relax. I like and like because they heard me on speakerphone like when they said and this happened. I'm like, come, you're like 6 minutes from my home. Relax. I got water. I got stuff. Like, I don't want like
Mhm.
I was, and then like that whole at next hour, I was just concerned and scared. Like, I'm like, they're not coming. Like, are they okay? And
It
yeah,
was scary. It was
I was.
scary. Everyone was pretty worried for me, other than me. Everyone's like, "You need to go to the hospital," and I'm like, "It'll be all right. It'll be fine."
Yeah, the
Like,
person,
thank
the person I was here with, like who heard, cause he called me on, like I had it on speakerphone for a second. She was like, "Did she go to the hospital?" Like she messaged me like 30 minutes after they left, and they said, "Did they go to the hospital?" I'm like, "She said she's okay. She didn't go." And I said, like, and mentally, I'm like, I'm being mindful this entire weekend, just trying to make sure, I know this project is important to her, but her health is important too. Like, please
Mhm.
be okay, Hayes. And
you
I
guys,
don't know.
the amount of money I spent on this project, I was gonna die before I went to a hospital. I'm sorry. I know that everyone is like, I totally get health over wealth, health over everything. I get it. But like in that moment, in that mindset that I was in, it's go to the hospital, make sure you're okay. Maybe nothing's wrong and maybe you actually need help. Or like if you do that, you're gonna lose everything that you've been working on for 10 months for this project, 10 months of work, 10 months of effort, 10 months of find all of the money and everything, plus getting all those last minute people to lock in for this project. We had issues with the location because people didn't want us to film adult content in their offices. People agreed and then pulled out. So it was like we already had to change the date twice. And if
Mhm.
I couldn't be there to direct and keep everything going, would have had to cancel that weekend, like the day before the project. So I'm like, if I die on set, I die on set, but we've just got to keep going because if I don't do it, who's going to do it? And I just can't let all this money go to waste. I'm like, if I pass out, call the ambulance. But otherwise, let's keep going. We got to do this. We got to get these props. We got to get this.
Well, it just
See,
shows
I
And so
laugh
it,
at you
it
now,
just it
but
just
I
shows that
keep
people love you. But we
they
were
do. Everyone was very worried about me. Charlie, my PA, and Mina, my best friend, that day were like basically every hour they made me give them a number. Like, what is your pain level at right now? And so it would spike. It would go from like 10 to like 4, and then it would spike and it would go like every 5 minutes I would be in like excruciating pain. And they're like, I'm like, no, listen, you go into Target and get what we need. I'm just gonna sit here in the car and like we'll figure it out. And they're like, if you get to 8 again, you're going to the hospital. And I'm like, okay, I'll let you know. Just let me write it out. And I promise you, I'll let you know where I'm at on that pain level. Because if I get to 9 again, I'm going to want to go to the hospital. But
yeah.
everyone was worried. There were like 12 women in the group chat on WhatsApp. Like, is she going to go to the hospital? Is she okay? It might be this, it might be that. Here's a doctor recommendation. Here's a hospital recommendation. Like, everyone was being super helpful. And I was just sitting there being hard headed. Like, I know you guys care, but
No,
again,
we
over
understood.
$20,000.
We understood. We were just, we love you, Hazel.
I'm
I
lucky to have
yeah.
so many people that were concerned about me that day. I really am. I really am. There
Um,
had to have been like 20 people like, please go to the hospital. I'm like,
yeah, because I was like, I hope I'm not annoying her with my IG messages. I'm
no, you are.
like, are you cool? Are you cool? Because oh,
Mind you, I laugh at it because I'm also as hard headed as you. So that sounds like some shit I would do, you know? And I'm just
Mhm.
like, I can't even be mad at you for doing that because it's like, honestly, I feel like I would have done that in the same, if I was in the same position,
Yeah.
you know?
If it were just like a boy girl or something, it would have been much easier for me to say, okay, my team's going to take care of that and I have to go take care of myself. But there was like 25 people total with cast and crew, and I kind of had all the answers. It was my script, it was my production. So like I needed to be there ultimately. Plus replacing the lead. I was the female lead. So it would have been like just plus, we were going over those options, me, Charlie, Mina, because Mina wanted me to go to Rockstar so bad. So we're like, okay, if I do end up having to go, who can do this role? Who can do this role? Who can do this role?
well, I just think because and I jokingly say this, but I do. I have like a lot of things in my medicine thingy for any altercation from like people being in pain to people randomly getting their period. I have a lot of stuff in there, and like she knows what's in there, and I think she knows that I probably would have had something that could have at least have you deal with the pain for a little bit. in there, but also like it's like a house you can sit at because I know you were at talent testing services when
Mhm.
she called me and or contacted me, whatever. And I'm like, well, you're really close to my home. You could
Mhm.
relax, chillax for a second, lay down for like maybe like 15 minutes if you need to, then carry on because we just didn't want you to, be moving around if you were in pain, especially if you were driving or whatever. We just
Mhm.
wanted you to collect
Yeah.
yourself for a second and then carry on
They took
because
over for the most part. They took over. They were driving, they were getting me everywhere and kind of doing everything. I still to this day don't know what was wrong with me. It felt like appendicitis, but it was on the wrong side. And I don't take a lot of pain medication. I'm very much like, I'm don't judge me for this, but I'm like, my ancestors went through worse. So I'm like, when I'm in pain, I'm like, unless it's at a 12, I'm not really gonna take anything. And I was getting there. I wanted to take something. I really did. But then everything was like packed up into my suitcase. But that night I went to bed early at like 7. And by the time I woke up, the pain was gone. I was so happy because I was
Mhm.
like, if I wake up and I'm still in pain, I have to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
And so I was
do you
just
know what it
super
could have
thankful that
been?
I woke up.
It could have been that you were just so stressed out
I
from
think it could have
everything
been
you were going
stress. Yeah.
on that it just like put you in so much pain.
Yeah. It started on my plane, my second plane ride. And then whenever I'm off the plane, I finally land. I'm there at LAX for about an hour, getting my car, waiting on Mina and Charlie. And in that hour after my flight, it spiked all the way to like 10 or something. And I was like,
Ooh.
oh shit. um, and then I think I did start to stress myself out in that moment because I'm like, if something's wrong with me, all of these other problems are now going to be an issue that I'm going to have to figure out. So it
Yeah.
probably definitely like spiked it for sure.
Mhm.
I
I have
mean,
to plug my computer up. It's going to die.
You
but yeah,
should
like
have been plugged up.
we were just excited. Like I'm just glad we were okay because I was just worried about
Mhm.
the entire thing from you having to. It was just a lot happened that weekend from you having to replace a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because I remember like even one of my friends, like and I know had messaged you, but they weren't available that Friday. And I'm like, okay, I said I hope she gets everything that she needs and it was just a lot going on. So I can understand completely.
Yeah.
And
I had 5 cancellations before that, like within 2 days before that project. So
Jesus.
yeah, I had a lot, on my plate ultimately.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Absolutely. This is
it
why
could have
the
just been
pay
stress.
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely a lot of stress. But honestly, this is why we got to give a shout out to the PAs for helping out, you know?
I would not have made it without
Really.
Charlie that weekend. I would not have made it without Charlie.
Hmm.
Thank you to like every one of my talents that showed up at the last minute to do a 4 episode project at the very last minute. And it was not easy. And I'm not, I'm not 10 years experience. So like they're working with me as a director too to direct my first project that's of that like scale.
Hmm.
Um, and like every step of the way that day was super stressful for me. I got to talent testing as he mentioned, and they I told them like don't use that, do this vein, and they fucked up this vein, and then they're like digging around in my arm with a needle. And on top of that, I'm in pain. I'm still like dying, and I'm just trying to get my blood taken, which I already hate. And they're like poking around on me. So by the time I left there, I've got 2 things on my arm from
I
being
hate
poked
it
around.
when
And I'm like, oh my God, I really just need to get through my errands so I can go lay down.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the reason why I go to a specific testing service when I actually go get tested because they're really quick with it and they're not poking around like
mhm.
411 times, like okay, and then you come out like you've been a pin cushion, and it's like it's a bit much, It's like like that's still a damn vein in my body, and
Yeah,
I still gotta
yeah.
work, blood thick and blood, like just yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
See, I haven't really had problems with the talent testing phlebotomist. It's only been like once or twice, you know? And even
Mhm.
then I'm the kind of person that I plan my blood draws, my testing specifically for days that I'm not doing anything. Because like for me, I'm so tiny and I'm such a lightweight that like even just taking those 2 vials, I can feel lightheaded.
Yeah,
I'm like
same.
such a baby about it sometimes. It's not even about the blood, like seeing the blood or anything. It's just the way my body is. I'm like, oh, I will be drained, even just the 2 vials.
Well,
Yeah.
Like,
it's not more so me like getting pitched around. It's a lot of people like
mhm,
I've taken a lot of people to each facility, you know, and I know
mhm,
some facilities like I've taken people to is just like you know.
Yeah.
mhm.
So Miss Hayes,
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier for me. I am not a fan of needles. So every time I go, it's super uncomfortable and it's even worse when you can't get the vein.
Ooh,
do you have any tattoos? I thought you did.
I have one here. It's
Okay.
okay.
small. I got it the
Yes,
day
I
after I graduated high school. It says rad. Um, and then I've got one on my shoulder that needs to be removed.
No, I was
do.
asking because like I hate like needles that go inside the body. But as far
Mhm.
as tattoos go, they don't bother me. Well, they hurt, but they don't bother me as much as far as needles go. And I was just wondering,
I,
was that the same for you?
I'm not sure. I do remember because I was 18 when I got this tattoo. Um, from what I remember, like I'm not a fan of tattoos. So I
mhm.
was worried about the needle as well, but it didn't really hurt from what I remember. But I know once I retire, because I plan on retiring in about 3 years when I turn 30, I have like 5 tattoos I'm gonna get. So ask me again then, and I'll let you know. Because they're gonna be in much more difficult places. Like I'm gonna have one on my thigh, one down my spine,
Mhm.
a couple on my arm, and one on my calf. Um, but from what I remember, this one was so tiny, and because of where it was, it didn't really hurt at all. It definitely felt like they're just pricking at your skin instead of poking into your skin.
Mhm.
I know for like, because I have 4 tattoos and a brand, and the brand I tattooed on my chest, that was the worst pain I ever experienced
Because all the
ever.
nerves are there, huh?
Like my titty kept jumping, and so like we
Yeah.
was doing it, my titty was like
It's like twitching.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and like the
Oh.
one on my leg, I didn't even know he had started. I didn't feel it, but that titty one, like it's my favorite tattoo too. But it's like it just
It
hurt.
hurts worse the most.
It hurt
Yep.
the most. I'm like,
Uh, yeah.
I think it's because it was a lot of names. But anyway, um. So far, like in your entire directing thing with your company, what has been your favorite thing that you've shot or your favorite thing you love about it?
My favorite thing that I've shot would probably be a threesome scene with me and Alex Jones and Kaya Rose.
Okay.
I
Ooh.
love the concept. We had he had broken up with both of us because we were no fun, and then we, trying to be more fun, went on a dating app and matched with each other because we're like, oh, we want to try being with a girl, and then we realized that we both had the same ex, so we sneak into his backyard. And we're jumping around on his trampoline, just fucking around. He gets home, sees us through his blinds in his backyard, and he's like, I don't know if I should thank God or call the cops. And he tells us to come in. He tells us to come in and we have an amazing threesome scene together.
That's
That
amazing.
one with Mina and Alex Jones. Mina shoots her shot where like they're just waiting on a text message for an address for a party.
Mhm.
And one friend comes on to another friend, like, have you never noticed that I've been flirting with you? And that sex scene is my favorite because the sex is just fucking phenomenal. He picks her up, flips her around, and Alex Jones is really tall and Mina's really short and tiny. And so, like, sexually, it's just very much a turn on for me. I love it. But yeah, those would be my two favorite that I've shot so far. Um, my favorite part about it, honestly, is like on set for In Melanin, it's like being at home with my family, my very
Mhm.
black family, where I'm the whitest one in the room. And it just feels, I just love the environment of my sets because I don't have to do anything other than book my people.
Yeah.
When you get an entire cast of like people of color, it just turns into something else. This is what happens when you're with black people. It just turns into like, we're hanging out, but yeah, we're doing this too, like kind of thing. So it doesn't feel like work. It feels like we're all working together towards this end goal, but we're hanging out and having fun along the way. And I feel very blessed that I didn't have to cultivate that environment. It comes with the people that I shoot. And it makes me very happy because even with the project in LA last weekend, so many people on set, a lot going on. So there's obviously points where like we're using this half of the crew and the other half is just kind of chilling and has nothing to do. And you've got characters like Ray Black. He's running around with my megaphone, just like pull out your dicks, just like entertaining everyone for me while I'm working and getting stuff done.
Yeah,
And it was just a really great vibe. Like I just felt like I'm hanging out with my people and we're creating something special.
absolutely. See, another example I have of this is actually, I won't show them, but I literally have a video of you and Mina playing foosball. Foosball when we were at Exotica, New Jersey. We were filming some content for someone, and like we were just taking a break in between the photos and the video, and she was like, "Oh my god, there's a foosball table!" Like that excitement, you know. We just played around, and then as soon as they're like, "All right, we are ready to film," it's like we get back on track.
On set.
You
Yep.
know? Exactly. I love that, the fact that we are able to do that. You know,
Hmm.
show up, work, have some fun while we can, but as
Hmm.
soon as we hear, hey, it's time to get to work, we get right back to work, you know,
Hmm.
keep the
It's
day going.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I love, oh, I'm sorry. I love environments like that because it's so much more relaxed. You feel so much better about being on set. And if you have any like anything that's going on, it's like you can breathe, whatever, because it feels so much more like it doesn't feel so much like work, you know.
Hmm.
Exactly.
But that's all. That's the entire thing that always gets people is like, oh, I gotta go to work and like and
Mm-hmm.
shoot with blah blah whatever, and depending on if you like the person or not, it's like I gotta work with this person. And from what I've heard about people who have worked with you, like they really enjoy. I'm not gonna say names because, but like right now, but they really enjoy like just being on one of your sets. And it's always like, oh, I will if and someone has said that, they said, if Hazel asks me, I will go there. Everybody else, I'll think about. But if she needs me, I'm there. So
Absolutely.
it's a whole thing of like, you have built a comfortable environment that people love to say, okay, if she asks, yes, everybody else I have to think about, so it's
I
a good.
have even planned trips around her schedule, you know, like one time she was like, "Oh, we're gonna be in Miami for this like Galentine's stream," and I'm like, babe, we're driving down to Florida next week. I know it's gonna be like a 14-hour drive, but Hazel said so. Like Hazel asked me to do it, so we're doing it, right? Yeah, okay.
and if
Thank
and
you
if
guys.
and
That
if
brings up something. I'm like, actually, Sarah, we need a lot more of you on In Melanin. So we're gonna
I that reminds me, I actually do need to see the photos um from when we were in Miami and I was doing the like merch photo shoot. I don't think I ever got to see those photos.
from the
So
bake show.
yeah, after the bake show. Remember we were outside doing a photo shoot?
I was here
I
in
have
LA.
all of those. Yeah, I'll get those to you. I've got all of that. I'll get that to you for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so because I was watching this a little bit on somebody's OF for a second, and then like if you missed the bake show, it was fun. I was just sitting back watching. I think I was on Lala Ivy's OnlyFans watching it for a little bit. Like they brought together so many amazing, beautiful, very extremely talented women, and they created something that was looked so damn good. So like if you want to go back and watch it, I know that it should be on her site or something like that.
Yeah.
It looks so great, and you
It's an
like
annual event. So that was our fourth. This year we're having our fifth, or next year we're having our fifth annual bake show. So like 5 years in a row now, we've been getting at least 8 women together for this event. This year we're gonna do it on February 1st. It is a live event. So if you guys are watching this before then, it's a live event. It's gonna be happening on February 1st to kick off Black History Month. Um, Sarah, I'd love for you to be there. It'll be in Miami again this
Absolutely.
year. We have our first huge sponsor. Cam Soda is going to be sponsoring and streaming the event this year. So if you don't have a Cam Soda account, make one. But that's going to be the only place you can get it this year. But over the years, it's been easily accessible, but it's going to be harder and harder to get to because we're getting bigger and bigger. Um, but yeah, I can't wait, honestly.
I will say that will kick off also my birthday month. So I'm basically gonna use your
We're
live
having a
birthday
party that
month.
night. Yeah,
Yes.
come, you have to come then because we're having a party that night. We'll actually we'll theme the party for you because we haven't
You
put
don't
anything
need to do
together
that.
yet. So Sarah Lace birthday bash, yeah, for In Melanin. Like we will take care of it, girl. Just come. Let us know who you want us to invite. We'll get you some promo stuff, but yeah, we'll take care of everything.
That's so
Food,
sweet.
location, music, everything. I just would love to have you to be a part of the show again this year for sure. And we're also planning a trip to Barcelona in Spain um
Ooh,
for
mommy.
August of next year. And I really, really would love for you to come. So if you don't have your passport, get it. But I'll
Working
send you
at
the
it.
details for that soon.
Yeah,
But yeah, like
you have
honestly,
like you have 7 months to get your passports there.
hmm
Right?
this is
And
honestly the very beginning of In Melanin, and I mean it when I say we're gonna go harder and harder every year, and we're gonna get bigger and bigger, and it's gonna get better and better.
And I'm gonna tell you everybody,
absolutely.
like if you have not noticed in the 30 minutes we've been on so far, look at Sarah's shirt and you notice what it says on it. I just want to point out she's wearing an Melanin t-shirt, and she has another shirt in front of her. Like I'm not on like you can't see me on camera, so I didn't put my shirt on. But I have a shirt, like I have a shirt that I bought at from Miss Hazel at I believe it was X3, and I have it in
Yeah,
my closet right here. And it's it's one of the like I like to support, but it's like I can only do so much, so. Like I love the shirt that I have and it's there. So you can actually go to their site, or and get merch, and support and like show your friends and family like, hey, I support this very exclusive like POC company
yeah.
that's
All
doing
of our
big things.
drops are very exclusive. The shirt that Sarah has on, there are only 10 of them out in the world. Only
that's
10.
right. This was from one of the Galentine streams, I think this
Yeah,
year.
that was our fourth show. That was our fourth annual show.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. See, and so when I did the Miami photo shoot with the merch, I only got to borrow it. But recently, when I went to Exotica, New Jersey, she actually gave me some more merch. So let me show you guys. This one is a cute little crop top. It's got that In Melanin watermark. And then back here, it actually says In Melanin.
Yep. We've got
Got
some
that.
tracksuits coming for the girls too.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. And then if y'all want a little scarf or a head wrap or something, we
I
got
love
some right
it.
here to represent In Melanin. And then I only have like two more
That's
things.
my favorite one.
My main one. This is In Melanin Come Rag. Fucking love this. I haven't used these yet because I wanted to show them off first.
I use them for my cam show. I came everywhere and I was like, oh, perfect. I've got a cum rag right here.
Yes. Fuck yeah, that's perfect.
I
And
can lay
the
my
come
used
rag.
dildos when I'm like fucking myself on cam. I have it laid out on my bed and I'm just like laying it on the towel because it's like
Yeah,
covered in my juices.
I fucking love that. That's perfect though. I need
Oh
a
my
few more
God.
super squirter.
Oh,
I
I
need
gotta
like
get you a big towel. Yeah,
yeah, I need
I
like
have
a
a big towel. We just got the new big towels. They're beach towels. It's got Lala's butt, my butt, Mina's butt, and Lana's butt on it.
ooh,
Yeah,
okay. I love that.
I will
I
get you one.
or at least I can go onto your website and support, go buy the
Yes,
merch myself, girl.
yes, please. But no, I would never make you do that. No, no. We gotta get you back on set for us soon for sure because we're just gonna give you some merch. Like as far as our merch goes, everything is super limited edition. Everything is very, very exclusive. One, because I'm not buying all that shit, and two, because we're a new company, and so I want people that were with us in the beginning to look back and be able to say, like, no one else has this. Like, no one
Exactly.
else, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Be able to be like, yes, this is exclusive.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But yeah, working on a lot more merch. So, and we're gonna have our own website for merch coming up soon. But yeah, as of right now, you can DM us at inmelanin.com or any of our social media
Mhm.
and we can get your order to you.
You know, thinking back,
Yes.
I remember before you launch your site, that back then for a while it was just like, please, it was just a mailing list thingy, and I signed
Yeah,
like 'cause I signed up way back then. You know, just on that little waiting list. Like, okay, I support. You know,
I love it. I love it. I was crying tears of joy because this is the year that we actually went from the coming soon page to like put your credit card info in.
Right?
It felt so good. We did a soft launch on April 18th and a full launch on April 20th, which is also my wedding anniversary. So I was in the woods in the middle of nowhere and I didn't think it through. Like you're gonna get a lot of like messages and requests about your site going live. And I had no service. Like I'm in the woods watching birds with my husband. I had no service. Everyone's trying to call me to tell me happy birthday and congratulations and happy anniversary. And I'm just like, oh fuck, maybe we shouldn't have disappeared into the woods for this.
Right? Just gone MIA completely on your new website.
I mean,
MIA.
that's also a boss type thing. It's like I'm gonna launch this, disappear for a few days. It's
Yep.
you
I
know,
mean, I
put it like this, like so this is coming out the 22nd, 23rd of December, because right before Christmas. So basically, it's like Kendrick just dropped an album. It's kind of like you just drop it out of nowhere, like, and will
mm-hmm.
disappear for a few
Yep.
Mhm.
days.
Yep. I
Exactly.
do random shit like that all the time.
Me
Hey,
too.
I mean,
Me
people love
too.
it. People love it because it's like, oh my goodness, what is this? What is this? What is this? And you know, they
What is
just
she gonna do next?
yeah.
Exactly. That's
So
fun. You keep things fresh, you know. I,
Yep.
so
even for my fans, I'm like, look, I'm gonna be his peace, his panic, okay? Not his peace. Like, I'll leave some of my fans in a little bit of a panic sometimes because, like, I love doing last minute live streams, for
Me
example,
too.
and be like, all right, let's see who has your notifications on. Let's
Uh-huh.
see who's a real one. And some of them, the ones that are really busy at work, they're left like panicking, like, oh crap, like, do I hop on the stream or do I get to work? You know, and I'm
They
like,
usually hop on the stream at work.
yes, yes, absolutely.
I've
But in
seen
a sense, they're
people.
left like,
I've seen
mm-hmm.
people who see you are doing that, and then they message you like, depending on what site you're on, like, "Hey, is there a pop? I can get a like I can pay you for a copy of this. I'm at work right now. Like, is it for
Yeah.
like donate blah blah and get a copy?" And you
Mm-hmm.
know, those who love that little copy thing, you'd be like, okay, let me drop you this X amount.
Mhm.
I can get a quick little
Mm-hmm.
copy of whatever you do on here because they don't know what you're going to do because you might not even make enough to do all what you want to do, or you make
Mhm.
more than enough to do what you want to do. You know.
Mhm.
Exactly.
I
Some
hate the
days, like,
shows where I go in horny and I don't reach my goal. And I'm like, I wanted to masturbate for you guys, but now I'm just gonna do it by myself.
yeah, I get frustrated and then I just like log off and masturbate on my own. Or I
Hmm.
film a video and I'm like, all right, now you guys gotta pay for this.
Hmm.
Like, hey, come on. Like, if you're seeing me live and I'm telling you I'm fucking horny, get me to my goal so I can fucking squirt.
Hmm.
Guess what? If you get me to that goal, I will most likely create another goal to make this even more fun.
Hmm.
I'm to
So,
the I'm to the point now. People who like stream at my house, like I can see if I can hear like if they are like happy when they're done or like they're just mad when they're done. It's like, okay, well they didn't hit their goal. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Or like I've had people who had like a stunt dick at my house and that stunt dick didn't come in unless they hit their goal. And like I remember one time the stunt dick fell asleep because that person didn't hit their goal. They didn't hit their goal. And like
yeah.
they could have had them come in at any time, but they had a really, really, really high goal. And
Mhm.
I think they only hit like 30%, 30 to 40% of it.
Yeah.
And
You
so,
should have a high goal if you're bringing a whole other
oh,
talent.
well, he was doing it for free.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
like,
but like
no, no,
you
no, no,
still
I'm not saying, I'm just
them,
saying no,
you
but
know?
he ended up falling asleep. and she had like it was like I think she was on for like 4 hours before she just said like, "Oh well, I'm just gonna do it anyway." But like it was kind of like at 1 o'clock in the morning when she said,
Mm.
"Okay, yeah." And then he
Oh,
was.
yeah.
I think it's like the person was just he was in that deep sleep at that point because he was just sitting there just waiting,
Mhm.
like sitting back watching like anime or whatever. You know, he was just knocked
Damn.
out.
Yeah. See, I would have just let him sleep. I would have gone
Mhm.
checked on him, been like, oh, he's sleeping.
Oh yeah, he
Yep.
like they
You know?
didn't.
You guys let the dick fall asleep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because he was ready. He was ready. He
Exactly.
was ready to go like for the first 2 hours, and because
Right?
he even checked in like at hour two. Was like, "You good?" Like, they're not tipping. I'm like, okay, well, he's okay. Did he fall?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
she
So
got and she
sometimes
got
it's like
mad.
a really, sometimes
It's
it's really
annoying.
hard to get them to
Sometimes
tip.
and sometimes they don't tip until you're doing something like
Mhm.
actionable and you're just like, guys, that's not how it should be,
Yeah.
like I will do that, for example, on my OnlyFans because they've already paid to be there. So
Hmm.
sometimes I'll give them a little bit more just to kind of like, like a hook and reel, be like, here, like let me at least like suck on this dildo so you guys can have that anticipation and
Yeah.
tip to be more than that. But sometimes they want you to be like writing and doing all this, not tipping, and you're just like, come on, guys, like
Well,
I'm
Yeah.
not doing this.
Like
I think
I can do this for me or I can do this for you. It's up to you who I do it for. Because if
Mhm.
you want me to do it with the lights and the angles and making sure that you can see and all that, you're gonna have to tip me for that. Right?
Exactly.
I think sometimes like they will tip more if they can see the actual male talent or the other talent you're about to bring in. Like if you're about to do a girl, if it's just you there and you say I'm gonna bring in a girl, they might like be not be as fast to see like to donate
Yeah, I
unless they see the other
get
person. And
I
she
only
didn't.
do that with I do like when I'm with a girl, we come on together
Yeah,
and we're
that.
both like we're both kind of pushing ourselves like, oh, if you want me to do this, tip for this. If you want me,
yeah,
and then like if you want us together, that's get us to our goal. In the meantime, we'll oil ourselves up and twerk and do stuff and talk to each other. And then when I'm doing one with a guy, I have him like in the back. Like you can barely see him, you can just see his dick, and I'm just having him jerk off. And he's not really there. Like they know he's there, I can point to him, but like he's minding his own business and I'm trying to get them to get to goal so that we can actually include him. I'm like, I've got a
yeah,
hard cock, but I need this many tokens to put it in my mouth.
yeah. And the one
That's
she,
a good
and well, this one
strategy.
in particular. I don't even think she had him come on camera at all the entire time. He just said, "He's here." It's like, okay,
Mm.
who? You know?
See, sometimes it's about the strategy,
Yeah,
Mhm.
like people, like I feel like especially with camming, they're visual people,
Mhm.
I feel like they do want to see that there is that option, kind of like you said in the background, or I don't know if even just mentioning is enough because I've tried that before, where obviously I live with my partner and if he's downstairs gaming while I'm streaming, I can be like, hey, get us to this goal, and he'll come in. But I'll be honest, I feel like that doesn't happen that often,
Mhm.
where they get to that goal unless they're seeing us actually interacting on
yeah.
camera together.
Mhm.
And
So I
like
will say,
this is one of the ones at my house. So you know who comes like Sarah knows who comes and goes in
yeah.
my house.
Mhm,
So it's just that dynamic. So
mhm.
anyway, speaking of all that other stuff, so Miss Hazel, what do you do for fun? What does Hazel do for fun? Or like when she's not, building an empire.
Sleep. I catch up on my
Hate
sleep
that.
first and
Everyone says
foremost.
that. Yes.
Yeah, I catch up on my sleep because sometimes I go 3 weeks of like barely getting any sleep. So when I am home and I'm like don't have a lot of responsibilities, I'll sleep for a day and a half. While kind of just doing my normal housewife stuff. So like I'm sleeping and doing laundry or sleeping and cleaning, etc. But mostly sleeping. And then when I've got a good amount of time to myself, I like to go fishing. I love to go kayaking. I love hiking.
Mhm.
And that's basically it. I'm pretty simple. Like I like to be outside. So
Mhm.
like a beach day, fishing day, kayaking day, hiking day, like those are good for me. That's what I prefer
Mhm.
to do.
See, you and I should plan a trip where we go like fishing and kayaking because that'd be so
I
fun.
would love to.
See,
I'm
I'm
so
not
down.
a walker. Like I have height and everything, but like I don't know. I have to be in the mood for it.
I
So I'd
get that.
rather just be low energy, fishing or just
Mhm.
kayaking. Perfect for me, you know. We do a little something,
Yeah,
film a little BTS,
exactly.
you
I
know.
go to the gun range probably once or twice a month. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's just to let out some aggression.
Bro, if you want to let out aggression, try axe
I
throwing.
have tried axe
Have you
throwing. I
have
want
you
to try
ever
one of those
been to a
like
rage room?
that's what I was gonna say. I want to try a rage room next.
Yeah, see, that'd be
I
fun.
Yeah.
I took a former female interest to a rage room, and like they had a lot of
Mhm.
rage, and they was hitting some. They were hitting they're breaking like a TV or something like that. And one of the this is what I feel I'm gonna say. It's very important for if you go to a rage room, everybody, to make sure that you have all your gloves and all your stuff up, and you're wearing a long sleeve shirt,
Mhm.
like all the way up, because if you have any exposed skin, glass can get anywhere. And like I had like I had like a my gloves didn't go all the way down because I had like a shorter shirt on, and like
Mhm.
one of the little things like broke off and just hit me, and I was far away, but she was going at it like she had a lot of built up aggression, and yeah, so that's important. Just make sure you cover up all the way. You don't want to get
Mhm.
have a random glass
Safety
particle hit
first.
you.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I just want to, but yeah, it's I can't hit like a someone with a bat as much as I want to anymore because like I'm disabled. But like she was going at it. It was like, oh my God, like don't piss her off, like
Speaking of going at it, see, I want to play paintball. And
Yeah,
mind you,
same.
specifically, like, I know we already passed it, but like, specifically, like, zombie themed paintball. That
um,
that sounds so fun. I still have been
That would
wanting
be
to do that.
awesome.
Yeah, because they used to have it in when I lived in Cali, there was a place nearby that had it like on October's. But like I'm so far away and I'm just like, I want to do it.
Yeah, we gotta find somewhere out here that does that. I'm sure there's somewhere.
well I know they
Because
like
Love,
last time I was there, my foot was broken, so I literally wasn't even allowed to do it. So like
oh,
now that I'm able to do it, I'm like, there's nowhere to go.
well, let me know. I love putting together social events for the girls. So let me know. I think we could find something on this side of the coast.
Yes, let's do
Yeah.
it.
yeah they're on they're on the other side of the coast. I'm over here
Mm-hmm.
in the PST and they're in EST, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. We're literally just using this podcast to like plan out future events.
Oh, it's okay. Like matter of fact, are you gonna like well since this is airing December, are you gonna be here for X3?
I will be there for X3.
And
Me
what about AVN?
too.
Will you be at the AVN thingies?
I don't think I'm gonna make it to AVN, but I am nominated.
I don't know what
Hey,
you're
congrats.
what like. Well, congratulations on being nominated. What are you nominated for?
Thank you. I want to say it's here. Let me just pull it up because I'm actually not sure. Uh, Best all-girl group sex scene, the 66th day.
Okay. Well, good luck.
Okay.
I hope that you
Yeah.
win.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Heck
It's
yeah.
Yeah, last year was my first year being nominated. So this is my second year being nominated, but yeah, personally, look, I love AVN. I love,
Mhm.
the history of AVN, but AVN has changed. And if you don't have upwards of like a million followers and etc., then honestly, personally, I don't think it's like if you're a new creator watching this, don't spend your time and money going to AVN. Like spend
Yeah.
it on more important
Expensive.
things. Go to Exotica, go to X3. Um, but for me, financially, I think I'd much rather take that money and spend it on my company that's what I've been doing over the past like 2 years instead of going to AVN. I just want to get to a point where AVN recognizes who I am first, and then I will give AVN more of my time. But for now,
that's why I know a lot
super
of people go
grateful
to
for the nomination. And yeah, I'm just taking a step back from all the events and stuff so that I can really focus on growing my brand.
yeah, that's why not a lot of people go to AVN because they want to do they do their content trades because almost everybody is
Because
there.
everyone's in town.
So that's a good time to do that. But sometimes, people aren't checking tests
Mm-hmm.
during
Yeah.
AVN. It's a, um, people out there in the world, I'm gonna tell you this. Um, if you're at an event for X3 or AVN, please work with people who only have like a got the test recently, a 1 week test. And I'm gonna say that only because like people be on the last 2 days of their test, whatever, and they working together. Not saying anybody has anything or you spread anybody spread. It's just important for you and for your safety and your health
Mhm.
to be mindful that it is like a higher more it's more fluids being exchanged during those 2 weeks, and for your
Mm-hmm.
health, for your mentality, for your safety, you know, do a 1 week test, just those 2 weeks, well that week, whatever, and go for it. That's just my opinion,
Yeah,
but
I agree. I don't shoot during those weeks for that reason. It's just there's too much going on, and I feel like your focus. I mean, I get that being your focus because AVN you're not really going to make a lot of money unless you're with
Mhm.
one of the bigger companies.
yeah.
So it's the best time to get collabs and stuff done. But I would say only work with talent that you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use that as time to meet up with a new talent, which I get the temptation to do that because oh, when am I ever going to be in the same city with this person again? But it's like you don't want to rush to make content. I've never been one to rush to make content or take a last minute content thing or anything like that.
Mhm.
I think it's very important that you think through who you're working with, that you have a relationship with them, and that you're not working with new people during such a hectic week. Because what usually ends up happening is you're not really verifying and checking that test 2 and 3 times until after you've shot the content. Because you've got so much going on leading up to that, and then you probably got to go right back out to the show floor after that or before that or etc. And so it's not the time to have to worry about going into detail with a new talent.
Oh,
Um,
an important thing too. Everybody download all three of the main talent services apps. CET has one, TTS has one, and Clear has one. And
they
if
have
you have,
apps now
they all have apps. They all three have apps.
on
And
the App Store.
yeah, I don't know which one you're referring to.
Mm,
Or they,
I
right?
think you might just like add to your home screen for some of them. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
but I know for a fact that CET has one. That's the one I use most frequently.
Mhm.
And you can go to the person's name on there, and you can actually see the test on their actual website.
Mm-hmm.
It is important because people do, falsify their tests. And like for example, I know CET sends you an email, but they also have it on their app. And if you are worried about anything like that, go to that. Like, and if you don't have it on your phone, go to their phone and go on their app and look on their actual thing because it will tell you when they last tested and all that stuff and when their test
Mm-hmm.
expires. Because like if you look at mine, like mine expired a long time ago, but I have no reason to go test as frequently. I'm not a performer. But like it will say, oh, he got tested in September, for example, and his thing expired September 28th. Okay. That's not someone should be shooting with right now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's just I- I'm just talking to the people out there, like, be very
Mm-hmm.
mindful and be safe.
Yeah.
That's because, we all like sex, but we all want to be safe about it.
Do your due diligence. Make sure you check their test, double check it, scan that QR code, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
And think of this at the very end of the day. Your content should be about the quality, not about the quantity.
Mm-hmm.
Go in one weekend, don't go in those convention weekends trying to get 10 scenes just so you can release them. What you should do is really think it through. Who is going to get me that best content? Do I have a good scenario? Do I have a good location for this? Because
Mm-hmm.
if your answer is no to these, then maybe you should postpone that scene till you have those resources to make that the best scene possible.
I agree. No one wants to jerk off to some random little clip from your phone.
Absolutely. Because
yeah.
if not, you could have just done that at home. At that point, there's no point spending thousands of dollars on a convention if you're just going to give low quality stuff. So I
Mhm.
will say that make sure you focus on your quality.
Yeah, yeah.
You got any tips for them,
And
Hazel?
I would say pick five people that you want to work with. Try to work with those people and stick with those numbers. I think quantity over quality speaks more to just content. It's also about who you're shooting with. Quality over quantity. If you have three girls that you know and trust and two guys that you know and trust, shoot with those people over and over again instead of trying to shoot with new people.
Absolutely. And in
when
a sense, your fans will also tell you that they like those individuals, you know,
Mhm.
so content will keep selling.
Yeah.
Like if that, you know, that's some definitely something that you guys can look into. Like we like giving y'all tips and tricks every once in a while. Just
Yeah,
okay,
and
to,
there's a lot to know, there's a lot to learn. Being in this
yeah.
industry, it's we're constantly learning and evolving too as porn stars and
Mhm.
learning what's best and what works and what doesn't. In an industry that's really kind of changing. In the last 20 years, it's moved to online, and in those 20 years, we still haven't figured out how to really tackle just the World Wide Web and porn together. We haven't, I don't think, gotten to a point where that's fully
it's
understand like
like I
Yeah,
would say this, like I've been in like I started doing stuff in this industry in 2008. And things that were going on then, and the whole like the whole the change, the shift of the amount that stuff is stolen and the amount of stuff that is out there, and then with OnlyFans coming in and other sites like that, whatever, and it's just so much has changed that it's kind of hard to really adapt to it with the ongoing changes, whatever. But the thing is,
mhm.
everybody gotta be mindful that like when you're producing something, make sure it like this angles, lighting, um, and like the cleanliness of the location you're doing everything at is all important.
Absolutely. Yes.
Lighting
And
important. Lighting is very important
yeah.
because people just you got to realize something. Like if you're shooting somebody in like a darker room and you're at a weird angle and it's a bit like a gentleman is having sex with you, whatever, you know, there is something called shadows. And if a
Mhm,
shadow is covering, what they want to see, they want to see the penetration sometimes. People just
mhm.
like just don't like looking at people like saying, okay, you're having sex. And they can't see the vagina, or the dick going into the vagina. They're like, okay, they're freaking, but okay.
I know. I've done that, especially in my amateur days, where I'm thinking the film is going perfect. I'm like throwing it back, and then I go in and like kind of look back at the camera, and I'm like, you can't see anything.
Mm-mm.
Like, so these whole like past 5 minutes were a waste. Let me change this angle, change this lighting, so you guys
Two
can
cameras.
actually see me ride this. Like,
Yeah.
Two cameras,
mhm.
whatever editing service, and you don't know how to edit, this thing called YouTube out there, and take a few
Yeah.
tutorials, just so you can edit something basically basic and just match it and just cut it up. It's
Mhm.
Mhm.
simple, and
I watch a lot of YouTube. I
it
watch a
makes
lot of
Yeah,
it
YouTube.
same.
makes it so much easier for you, and I understand that it's a lot of work that go into it, but the thing
Mhm.
is, it's like nothing that you want to do comes easy if you really want to do it and you're doing it for yourself. If you just want to be a person who is only on set, so be it. That's cool for you. But if you want to be a content person and make money that you can make continuously and not just be a one-off X amount what you get for being on set, whatever, you have to take, the strides in order to do that.
And regardless of that, you still need to brand yourself. In order for those
Mhm,
companies to even get you on set, you
mhm.
have to show them that you are worth hiring.
Yep.
You know, some people forget that. They don't think about it. They just like, oh, I just want to be on set. I just want to be a porn star. And it's like, that is great and all. But how are you going to get yourself on set? You
Mhm.
have show them who you are, show them that personality, like not necessarily about going and releasing your own content. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but you have to at least show them who you are.
Definitely. I 100% agree. Having a good social media following is more important than having an agent these days.
Mhm. It's all about the algorithm now,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Constantly changing. If there's one topic that I could bring up and I would like to talk about, it's really changing this idea of free porn. And
Mhm.
I really want to talk to as many creators as I can over this next year of what do you think of free porn? Do you think that you could survive, your company could survive without using that as a marketing technique? And just overall, what's the feeling towards it? Because I
Mhm.
personally feel that we are allowing the masses to see our content for free. And
Mhm.
honestly, the only people that really respect us, respect what we do, respect the time and money that we put into what we do, those people are already paying us. So I just feel like at a certain point, we're just giving away free content to these people and giving them no incentive to actually come and purchase it and spend money on us. And those same people that are like, oh, porn is free, why would I pay for it? Are the same ones that are like, I would never date a porn star, but you want to watch our content. I would never do this with a porn, but you want to watch our content. I would never do that, but you want to watch our content. And so for me, I think in order to really attack this monster that is the World Wide Web, that is the
Mhm.
internet, we really got to move away from this whole porn is free thing or porn should be free thing or even giving away teasers longer than a minute. People should not be able to find an entire clip of porn for free. I know that might mean the end of Pornhub's existence, but honestly, I'm just like, as far
Yeah,
as porn goes, like we have ways of promoting ourselves. We have Twitter, we have Reddit, we have platforms that still allow us to give them a taste. And we have the safer work platforms that allow us to give them a taste and actually gives them an actual teaser that will incentivize them to come over here instead of being like, you can find this entire clip just by going to xnxx.com.
Yeah, like
And
like
xnxx
like
is
an
not paying anyone
introduction.
out.
It's an introduction is cool, and the thing is, it's like via what you just said. Like, it's so many people out there that says, "Well, yeah, porn is free," but it's like, and
Mhm.
like to what I said to them is, no, porn is stolen. And I
Yeah,
said,
if
like,
they keep saying that in 50 years, there won't be any new content for them to steal because we're not going to be able to continue to put in the time, money. That's why there's less and less Black women in this industry today because there's a certain amount of time and money that we have to put in and we expect to get our money back. And that's not
Exactly.
happening because a lot of our stuff's being pirated and being stolen and we're not making the money that we should be making. And I think I'm okay with this year people being mad that they can't access porn. If you don't want to pay for it, like, so what? You
it's
Exactly.
can't
it's
jerk
like
off. That's a
it's
personal
like it,
problem.
it bothers me that like people fail to realize that okay, you're stealing this person's porn, but you're still begging them to do things with this and that person.
Mhm.
But you're not paying for them to do stuff with that because like okay, people out there listen for a second. So think about this for a second. Let's say Miss Hazel is putting together a scene, whatever, a content tray, whatever, and she wants to have like Bobby Jim, a porn performer out there. She has to pay and like it is, and she wants to own the content herself. She has to pay the male talent for his time. Okay. Let's say the male talent is anywhere between 900 to 1200, whatever. Okay. Then she has to get a location. Okay. Then let's say instead of like having steady cams, she hires a videographer, whatever. So you got to think about that. Then so you got location, you got talent, you got videographer. Then you got to think about the time she takes
Hair,
to edit.
nails, test.
Yeah, hair, her
Okay.
nails, the test, and depending on every all that stuff right there. Hair could be anywhere between $100 to $500 or more, depending on what she gets done.
Mm.
Uh, nails, ooh, if you ever taken someone to the nail store, you know how much that is. The test is what, 250, 260, depending on where you go to. Already
Mhm.
right there, you're already at about like almost 3K for this one scene, whatever. Then you just gotta realize, and then like the time she takes to edit, the time she takes to do all the other stuff, her time is valuable also. So you're thinking
Mhm.
about like $4,000, whatever, and they might not even quote you 4K, and they're giving you a different price. even though it's going to cost so damn much, but you don't want to pay it because you want to be a cheap a-hole out here
Yeah.
and think, everything is free. It's not free.
Mm.
I'm about to start working with Branded Scan to get all of my stolen content taken down. There's so much Hazel Grace shit online from OnlyFans that people have stolen from my OnlyFans account and just posted on these random sites. One of them's called Cooner, like just these random sites. And like
Yeah.
to get our politicians to do anything in this industry, it would be to shut down all of those. There's 100 websites that should not exist. They don't have paperwork. They don't have anything to back up all the like adult content that's on their website. If they audited them for half a second, they would be shut down. Websites
Yeah.
like honestly, the only three that I might get behind is X videos, Pornhub, and X Hamster. And even them I have issues with because you're letting millions and millions of people see our stuff and you're getting ad revenue, but you're not sharing that with us. And we're also losing sales on our stuff because they can see it here. And so I
Mhm.
think this whole relationship that we have with these websites like Pornhub needs to be reevaluated
Yeah,
because
because
we are what they're selling. We are why they can get that ad revenue from those companies.
yeah,
And
and
I
if
don't
it's
think that we as creators are appreciated on Pornhub unless we are making 10 million plus views. But you have to remember those girls that are getting 10,000 views, they matter too because they're also feeding the algorithm. And in order for
Absolutely.
those people to continue and to get to that 10 million views, we have to actually feed them. And we're not feeding them. They're feeding us and we're not reciprocating. And I don't know how, but I want to sit down with people in this industry and figure out a way to get all of those websites shut down. All of them. All of them. You should either be going to our specific sites, our OnlyFans, Brazzers, Vixens, Raw.com, Black.com, InMelanin.com, RealityKings.com. Go to that website, or you have three options: X videos, X hamster, Pornhub. And if you don't want to go to those options, you shouldn't be able to find our shit on YZ2W.com. You shouldn't be able to find our stuff on Twitter. You shouldn't be able to find a full scene on Reddit. It just shouldn't work that way because, in a
Yeah.
way, we're kind of feeding into this mindset that our content is worthless. It's not worth anything. When we just
Mhm.
did the math together, but we already knew this. It takes 3 to 5 to 7 thousand dollars just to shoot a little clip. If I'm just doing a solo by myself, I still have to make sure my hair and nails are done, and I still have to have lighting, and I still have to have a cute location. I still have to have lingerie. And so all that stuff really truly adds up. And because we're shooting in these fancy houses, they think we're rich, and it's not. We're struggling artists out here making content for you to jerk off to. And so
I
I think
forgot
it
I
would be
forgot to
very
mention
beneficial
lingerie.
for yeah, I think it'd be beneficial for
No.
us as an industry as a whole because it's not going to make sense if I do it by myself. I want everyone to kind of get to that point of realizing, like, oh, she's right. I spend $3,000 per fucking clip. I should not be letting XYXX have it for free.
Mhm. See, I don't know what you think of this, but one of the things that I had been considering, because obviously the tube sites are very prevalent, X videos does have their X videos red option where people can actually go in and pay a subscription to X videos so they can see what you consider premium content, which is the full length videos or longer videos. And I had actually been considering the possibility of using that site, like that part of the site to actually promote my own content.
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, I still don't necessarily know if I want to release a full video onto a tube site,
no,
regardless of whether it is paid or not. You know,
no,
so it's one of those where you have to kind of go back and forth with yourself, thinking like, what do I really want for my brand?
yeah. It's easy for a company like Brazzers and Team Skeet to put out 10 minutes of their video because they've already got the subscribers on their website. It's easy for them to feed their customer base these little tidbits and still make a profit. For all of us smaller companies, that's impossible.
Absolutely. See, and that's why I say it's one of these things you have to really think about it because it's like I'm just little old me, you know. I don't have a team. Some people think that I do, considering how many websites I'm able to manage and how much stuff that I'm able to do. But no, at the end of the day, what it really has to do, at least for me, is having a good content calendar.
Hmm.
You know, having a good schedule on when you're going to release things, when you're going to do things at home, you know,
Hmm.
having that versus actually like posting things for free. on a tube site, hoping that I'm going to get views and hoping that that's going to be enough to market me. You know,
Yeah.
there's other ways to market yourself in a safe for work way. For example, even doing TikToks, you
I
know,
think it's about time
doing
we lean into the
YouTube.
safer work promotions.
Absolutely. I've been trying to do more like live streams. I'm like, hey, get ready with me. I'm doing my makeup so they can see that personality. Because at the end of the day, that's partially what we're selling is our
No, that's
personality.
all of what
Yeah.
we're selling
Like,
ultimately. Like, there's a lot of porn on the internet. If they come to you or they come to me, they came for Hazel and they came for Sarah because they can watch a million girls fuck a suck a dildo, but like, I want to see Hazel suck a dildo because I know the personality that Hazel has.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I've been thinking to myself that if they're going to see us on a tube site, why don't you just watch me on YouTube as I'm doing my makeup and teasing you about what I'm about to film or
Hmm.
what I'm about to stream, you know, like that way you guys can still get a little peek and it's
Hmm.
for work and I don't have to actually give you
I
free
think those are the
clicks.
only peaks that they deserve ultimately. And I think any of our real fans would agree with me. I used to be like, oh, don't say they don't deserve it. But like, if they're not paying us, all they deserve is the safer work content that we're giving them. Um, but yeah, I think it's going to be hard to get the entire industry behind on that. But I think it's something that we need to start considering to bring the value back into our industry because people don't value us.
I mean,
Absolutely.
considering that everybody voted against like what could happen, whatever, about what's gonna come like in the next term, whatever, it's gonna be very interesting on like what rules and policies are gonna change for porn in general.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the same people that were spouting like, that they are against porn, whatever, or they don't watch it, could be the main ones complaining about,
Mm-hmm.
you know, what they can and cannot find. So it's gonna be a very interesting turn of events soon, I believe.
Definitely. Personally, I don't care if they're complaining. If they're horny enough, they'll find it and they'll put that credit card info in.
Yep,
And,
exactly.
they'll- and that moment, when that moment comes, it's like, fuck, I can't find it. Like they've actually gotten all the porn off Twitter, all the full length videos, and they've actually reduced access on these websites. Like, oh my God, I have to put my credit card information in. I hope in that very moment they realize, oh, what they do has value.
Exactly.
Like,
Once they pay for it, they will see. For
hmm.
example, my website,
Hmm.
I've had it for a while. It's more amateur style stuff, but I have over 300 videos on there, about 350 full length videos, solos, fetish, full sex, boy, girl, girl, threesomes, all that kind of stuff. And we do it basically, we're priced like Netflix.
Hmm.
That's why I like to say is like for my example, for that one, I charge $15 a month and you get to see thousands of hours worth of content.
Hmm.
You know?
And that's worth something. But it's
Mm-hmm.
not, they're not going to realize that until it's 3 weeks of them not being able to just go to Google and type in boob and fucking pick the first, like, you know what I mean? Reducing that access is going to add value where value already was, but they don't see the value until they lose access to that
Mm-hmm.
because they're watching it very often and they'll probably keep going back for 3 weeks without putting that card info in. But after that 3 weeks, I guarantee you, it's how the human brain works. If they still want it after that 3 weeks, they're gonna figure out a way to get it.
Mm-hmm. I forgot which TV app does this, but there's this one TV app where it's like the first hour is free, and it's like a main one. I think it's like
Yeah.
TNT or something. The first hour is free, like you get that freebie, and then after that you have to actually sign in. I don't know if you actually have to pay to or subscribe, but you have to actually sign in to be able to watch. Like I love the idea of that. Just get a
Yeah,
little peek and that should be enough to tell you like yo that's worth paying for you know but
I
this is why
agree.
we have our trailers on our sites, like go
Exactly.
directly to the source, guys. You can go directly to the source, all the previews and freebies. I even have extended trailers. I have my 5 7 minute extended trailers straight on my feeds on my OnlyFans, for example, for any pay-per-view video that you want. Like you get to see that quality before you actually buy it. But at the end of the day, this stuff can't be for free because I still got a roof to pay for, you know?
Yep. Yep.
And plus, with all the holidays coming up, ooh, all those extra expenses. So at the end of the day, guys, please pay for your porn or
Yes.
your customs. Even if honestly, it's okay if you can't afford to pay for every pay-per-view, if you can't afford to pay for a custom. Honestly, at least pay for that one subscription for your favorite star. You know,
Yes.
like, that's at least telling them, hey, you have someone that thinks you're worth it. Isn't it
Yeah.
true?
But yeah.
Yep.
So okay,
I think we're towards the end of
yeah,
this.
we are. I just want to make sure I didn't leave anything out because I want to make sure that everybody knows what you have coming up. So this is coming out in December. So outside of anything else, do you have anything that you want to put out there, or promote, or anything like that?
Just inmelanin.com. Go to inmelanin.com. Follow us on Instagram in Melanin. Follow us on Twitter in Melanin XXX. Follow us on Blue Sky in Melanin. Follow us on Reddit in Melanin. If you want to donate to the cause, $ in Melanin on Cash App. But no, keep an eye out next year for this big project that we've been hinting about. It's my first feature film for In Melanin. It's 4 episodes long. And we're hoping to get it nominated for not this season, but next year's award season.
I hope that it goes through well because I said, I know someone who was a part of it, and how excited they were about what they were doing. They couldn't tell me much, but what they told me what they could, I'm like, oh, that sounds amazing. So I'm just looking forward to seeing what will be put out there and everything because I know it will be fantastic.
Yeah,
So
well, thank you.
so
I
I
can't
look
wait for the world to see it.
And
yeah.
don't forget, guys, you can come see us at the X3 Expo. Both Hazel and I will be there.
Yes.
Not sure what booth yet. Obviously, it's still a little too early to tell, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
you can see both
Just
of us at the same event.
Hmm.
and make sure you get
Mhm.
the autograph. Hey, oh, by the way, if you go there and you see them, they're super nice. They're super friendly. But just don't walk up to them and take their picture without their permission. Just say, "Hey, can I get your picture?" They'll say, "Yeah,
Yeah.
sure." And then you can take it. Then you know what? You have a picture with them forever. And if you ask to take a picture with them, please ask before you touch anywhere on their person.
Mhm.
It's all about respect. Just because you see them all the time and you probably nutted all over the world to their videos, it's still about consent.
We
Yeah,
may
we're
be
still
pretty,
human
but we're
beings.
not dolls.
Hmm.
Like I've taken many many pictures of Sarah in person, whatever, and I recorded her to have sex. But still,
Mhm.
even before I even take a picture, is it okay if I touch your side? Yeah, thank you. Always
Exactly.
always get consent before you do anything. Anyway, where can they find you, Miss Hazel?
Officialhazelgrace.com has all my links and a little backstory about me.
Okay,
Sweet.
where can they
You
find
guys
you?
can find me on iamsaralace.com.
Okay, you can find us at the Burbank Misfits on Instagram, Burbank Misfits on Facebook, Twitter, Blue Sky. You can find me at RAWSEARR on Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky. And the burbankmisfits.com has everything that we do from fitness, sex, it's linked to our merch store and all that other fun stuff. Beautiful, amazing, amazingly talented,
Yes, buddy.
it's no words can describe how amazing you are, Miss Grace. We really appreciate you coming on and blessing us with your time and giving us a little taste of, your company and all that you do. You're really a blessing, and I wish you so much success in your future. And I hope that you win all the awards that you are justified on receiving.
Mhm.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you guys for having me.
And since
Thank you.
I got my dates wrong last week. Merry
Mhm.
Christmas to everybody. If you celebrated, Happy Hanukkah. That's already passed. Happy Kwanzaa if you do that, or or Happy Boxing Day, whatever you do or doing this week. And we will see you next time.
That's right, guys. Happy holidays.